Never in history has a modern military.
In the stillness of the early morning, the weight of an unprecedented military operation settled heavily on Fort Bragg, North Carolina. The call had come through. Thousands of soldiers were to be deployed within the next 12 hours. A division of 3,000 elite paratroopers, all members of the 82nd Airborne, prepared for a mission that would send them to the heart of the Middle East. Their task, to respond to a rapidly escalating threat with no room for error. As the soldiers moved, a sense of urgency filled the air. The rhythmic sound of weapons being cleaned, gear being packed, and supplies being checked reverberated through the barracks. M4 rifles were broken down, carefully wiped down, and reassembled, ensuring every component functioned flawlessly. Ammunition was inspected, linked, and packed into cans, while spare barrels and cleaning kits were readied for the journey ahead. By 4 a.m., the first aircraft, a C-17 Globemaster III, was ready for takeoff, its cargo bay already loaded, with vehicles, Humvees, rocket launchers, and armored trucks, each ready to be unloaded in the desert heat. The operation was a tightly synchronized effort, one that demanded precision at every turn. The soldiers knew that within hours, they would be on a plane, bound for a mission they had trained their entire careers for. But the real danger still lay ahead. The massive C-17 Globemaster III sat on the tarmac, engines humming with power as the crew carried out final checks. Each soldier, now fully packed and ready, filed onto the aircraft, their faces a mix of determination and calm. The weight of the mission hung over them, but this was their reality. With only hours to prepare, the heavy transport planes would soon take off, soaring toward the uncertain dangers ahead. Inside the aircraft, the atmosphere was tense but familiar. Soldiers secured their gear, ensuring nothing shifted during the long 12-hour flight. As the rear ramp sealed shut, the cargo hold became a world of its own. Quiet, save for the sound of engines starting. The hum of the turbines grew louder, and the aircraft slowly taxied toward the runway. At this moment, there was no turning back. The stakes were high, but the men and women aboard were resolute. In the distance, the first rays of sunlight began to break through the clouds. The flight would be long, but their mission was clear: to reach Qatar and prepare for the unknown threats that awaited. As they climbed into the sky, the soldiers settled in, ready for whatever came next. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this ongoing mission. After an excruciating 14-hour flight, the first C-17 touched down on the military airfield in Qatar. The moment the rear ramp lowered, a rush of soldiers and vehicles poured out, moving with purpose. The air was thick with tension, the smell of desert dust and jet fuel mixing in the heat. Humvees and HIMARS rocket launchers rumbled onto the tarmac, engines roaring to life as they drove straight toward their designated positions. There was no time to waste. Every second mattered. The soldiers didn't stop. With unwavering focus, they offloaded the gear, moving quickly and efficiently. The heavy trucks and armored vehicles, once locked in the belly of the massive plane, now found their place on the ground, ready for action. The desert horizon stretched out before them, a stark reminder of the challenges that lay ahead. The speed at which everything unfolded was almost surreal. In just moments, soldiers transformed the barren landscape into a base of operations. As the vehicles made their way to the front lines, the sun began to rise over the distant mountains. The mission had only just begun, but the soldiers knew this moment would mark the start of an operation that would determine the future of the region. Subscribe for more insights into this ongoing deployment. As the sun began to rise over the vast desert, another wave of troops prepared to deploy. On board the USS Abraham Lincoln, Marines geared up for their mission. With precision and efficiency, they boarded Sikorsky MH-60S Nighthawk helicopters and V-22 Osprey tiltrotors, the sounds of rotors slicing through the air filling the deck. Each Marine carried their full combat load, rifles, body armor, and ammunition, ready for whatever lay ahead. The operation was calculated. As the helicopters lifted off, the urgency in the air was palpable. The Marines flew across the Persian Gulf, the horizon stretching endlessly before them. With every passing minute, they knew they were getting closer to a crucial objective. They were not just reinforcements, they were part of a larger, fast-paced strategy that would define the course of events. Upon landing in Qatar, the Marines wasted no time. Tents were quickly erected, perimeters set up, and communication systems went online. The clock was ticking, and every move had to be seamless. In the distance, amphibious assault vehicles launched from transport ships, skimming across the surface before transitioning to land with impressive precision. Their arrival would soon escalate the mission to a new level of intensity. Stay tuned and subscribe for more updates on the rapid deployment of U.S. forces. The morning air was heavy with anticipation as the U.S. forces solidified their position in Qatar. Helicopters hovered above the base, their engines buzzing in the distance, while ground troops prepared for the next phase of the operation. The Marines had established their camp, the tents now filled with soldiers on high alert. The desert terrain, once empty, now hummed with activity, as if waiting for something far greater to unfold. Helicopters continuously patrolled the skies, scanning for any signs of danger. The military's air superiority was undeniable, yet the looming threat remained ever present. Iranian drones had been detected on radar, and each passing minute seemed to heighten the tension. The U.S. military's response was swift. Combat helicopters were refueled, and gunner crews ensured that their M240 machine guns were loaded and ready for action. Meanwhile, on the ground, vehicles continued to roll out, each one positioned strategically for maximum defense. Humvees and armored personnel carriers were placed at key points, while military engineers worked relentlessly to fortify the area. The sense of urgency was palpable, every soldier knowing that the next few days could determine the outcome of this operation. As the Marines and soldiers prepared, the ships offshore continued to unload their heavy cargo. Every vehicle, every piece of equipment was crucial. It was a race against time, and the storm was coming. Subscribe for more real-time updates as we follow this intense deployment and its critical impact on the region.